So I'm gonna call it Nathan, right? And I'm gonna just put a password in here real quick. And then here is if you want the user to change their password on next login, you can just leave it alone. Don't check that unless you want them to be able to change their password. You could just check mark that. And I'm gonna hit next. I'm gonna hit finish, right? So it's just we're gonna use Nathan as an example, right? Because Nathan's in chat today, and I'm gonna use him as an example. So I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna go to other user, and I'm gonna sign in as Nathan, right? It should let me in. Just give it a second. Just bear with me here. So now it's creating an account for Nathan, right? And Nathan's logging in right now. I'm honored. Thanks, Kevin. Funny, man. You're funny. Yeah, so I'm logging in as Nathan. Just bear with me. So obviously in a job environment, right? You may not have access to the server right here, server 2016, right? You'll probably have access to Active Directory and just reset passwords, right? So I created Nathan's account and I reset his password, right? Nathan calls me on the phone, right? He says, Kevin, I'm going on vacation. I'm going on vacation next week. And I want to know if my password is going to expire next week. Because you know what it is? You don't want Nathan to be trying to reset his password while he's traveling and he doesn't have access to his computer to change his password. What if he doesn't have access to change his password, right? What if he can't change it on his own? What if you have to manually change it for him or help him change it for him before he travels to another country? So in that scenario, you want to make sure that his password is not expiring. So how do you check that? So you could do it on the server. See how we have a server right here? Or you could do it on his own machine, right? On Windows 10, Nathan's logged in right now, right? So you could do it for Nathan by manually going into this machine and then running the commands, right? Let's just pretend that we have access to the server, right? We go into the server, you type CMD, right? It's open as administrator, right? And you type net user and you put Nathan in there, Nathan /domain. So when you do that, it tells you password was last set 12/17/2021, 4:47. So remember we reset the password. I reset the password to welcome one, right? Password expires 128-22. So it doesn't expire until next year, until next year, until the 28th of next year. So password can be changed at 12/28/2021. So he could change his password tomorrow at the same time at 4:42 seconds PM, right? And then password required, yes. User may be able to change password, yes. And it tells you what groups they're part of right over here. See, it tells you all the groups they're part of and when he's last logged in. So I could go here and call Nathan and just give him a call back and tell him, Nathan, your password is not going to expire next week, but it expires on the 28th. So how long are you good? How long are you going to stay in vacation for? Oh, I'm going to stay for about another week or two. Okay, so Nathan, do me a favor. When you come back from vacation, can you call me and we'll reset your password together? Or if not, I'll walk you through how to reset your password. Or if not, you should be able to reset the password on your own. So let me know what works for you, but definitely let me know when you want to change your password because I don't want your password expiring while you're traveling again. So please let me know. So then, you communicate with the customer, you communicate with the client, you let him or her know that their password may be expiring next week. They may not, but this is a useful command. So keep that. See this command I showed you today, net space users space Nathan space /domain. Keep that command in your pocket, right? That's one of those commands that if you go to a job interview, right, and a hiring manager says a user cannot log in, what can be the issue, right? It's an interview question, right? You tell him, okay, maybe the password is expired. You tell him maybe they can't log in because passwords expired. Maybe they're locked out. Maybe they got locked out of their account. Maybe they tried to log in too many times and now they're locked out. The reason why they can't log in is probably because they're not part of the right security groups. The reason why they can't log in is because maybe their account is disabled. It could be so many reasons why they can't log in. So you want to make sure you keep this command in the back of your pocket, right? It's one of those useful commands. So hopefully this is helpful. So I'm gonna be Nathan now, right? I'm gonna reenact Nathan. I'm gonna go in here, right? And Nathan's just having a bad day. Nathan is just having a really bad day. Like he accidentally had his kid, because he's working from home right now, right? He's working remote. He accidentally had his kid fat fingered the password a couple of times. And because of that, he's gonna get locked out of his account, right? So he actually stepped away from his desk, but unfortunately he let his computer lock, and he let it on the login screen. And for some reason, all of a sudden he's locked out of his account because his kid decided to fat finger the passwords a couple of times, and his kid decided to just jump on his computer and play around with it by accident. So now what's going to happen now is because he typed the password too many times incorrectly, it's going to lock him out. So now I was going to say the reference account is currently locked out and you may not be logged on to. You may not be able to log into it. So that's what happened right now with Nathan. Nathan's like, oh, shoot. What happened here? Someone locked out my account. Oh, I need to call IT to help me with this. Okay. So Nathan calls Kevin. He's like, Kevin, I need you to unlock my account. Please unlock my account. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to bother you. Nathan, you're not bothering me. I could definitely help you with that. So you have a few ways of doing it. You could go into users. You go to the top, on the top of the domain controller, Kevtech.com, right? You can right click on it. You do find. And you want to search the entire directory, because sometimes they're not in the right OU. So sometimes Nathan might not even be here. Like he may not even be in this OU. So see here, Nathan's here. Like somebody probably accidentally put him somewhere else. You don't know, right? So you want to make sure when you search for a user, you right click, you do find, and you do entire directory. It searches everything on the whole domain controller, right? And obviously on the left, he's a user. He's not a computer, right? So we'll put his name here. It's not going to show up because he's not a computer, right? So we're going to put users. It says, do you want to clear the current search? Yes. And we're going to type Nathan in there, right? And then what we're going to do is we're not going to reset the password, because you could reset the password if you want, but we're just going to unlock his account. We actually Nathan, do you want me to reset your password? Do you know your password? Did you get locked out? What's the reason why you got locked out? Oh, I got locked out because my son came to my desk. He fat fingered my password a couple of times and he locked me out. Can you unlock my account, please? Yeah, sure, I'll unlock it. So you find Nathan, you found him, right? Double click on Nathan, you go to account, and you see right there, it says unlock account. This account is currently locked out of an Active Directory domain control. So you click on him, right? You do apply, you do okay, and then you go back here, you double click on him. It should be good now. Now it should be good. So you call Nathan back. Nathan, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. You know, whatever way you use to talk to your customers. Me, I have a different way of talking, right? Can you please try to log in again and let me know if that works, right? So now Nathan's gonna try to log in again, and let's see if it works. It should let him in. So Nathan's like, okay, Kevin, I'm trying to log in right now. Let me can you just hold on for a couple of minutes? I just want to make sure that I'm able to log in. So then Nathan tries to log in. He's able to log in now, right? He's good to go after that. So that's like one scenario, right? So now I have a different scenario. I'm going to do is I'm going to restart. I'm going to right click on him and I'm going to disable his account. And if you refresh, sorry, anyway, if you refresh right here, right? I'm going to click the refresh button. He should be disabled now. So Nathan's right there. So if you see like an arrow, pointing down, that means the account is disabled. You have to right click on it to enable it. So he's disabled now. So now Nathan's over here. Poor Nathan. Nathan's just having a bad day. Like his account got locked out, but now his account got disabled. Like it's like as if he got fired or something. So Nathan tries to log in, and let's see if it lets him in. It should let him in. It may not let him in because sometimes passwords do get cached on the computer. So we'll see if it lets him in. Just give that a second. Sure, let him in. I let him in because his password's cached on the computer. So what I'm gonna do is, just for the sake of creating accounts, let me see here. Maybe I can. So that's right. When you do VMs, like sometimes you'll have issues like that where it doesn't work. So sometimes you have to try to recreate the problem with another account. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it test. Test. See if I can create that issue. Account is disabled. All right, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna log in with tests. There we go. So sometimes you have to restart and delete the account or recreate the issue. So that's the issue I was trying to create. So your account has been disabled. Please see your system administrator. So this account test can't log in because it's disabled. Obviously, if an account got disabled, it's because they either left the firm, they got fired, they got laid off, or something happened to their account. So it could be several reasons why their account got disabled. But obviously, what you do is you talk to your hiring manager, you talk to HR, you get the right approvals, right? And then you just right click on the account, and then you enable the account, right? So now you have that user. Obviously, it's going to be a different name, and then you just have them log in, and then they should be good to go after that. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to enable Nathan again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into Nathan's account. And I'm going to expire his account. So that means his account is only good for a certain amount of days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put him back to December 1, 2021. And I'm going to leave it alone for a second, right? Just give it a second. So now I'm recreating another problem. So these are things you should be practicing if you have a computer and you install VMs on it. These are like little things you should be practicing on your server, on your VM, and on your virtualization lab, home lab, if that makes sense. That's what I would recommend you do. Yeah, so you're doing something wrong if you're getting an error message about network as network name cannot be found. So you may have to share your screen with me and share the screen with us on Discord, and we could go over that later tonight. Just you could definitely show us that later tonight, or you could just send us screenshots of it in Discord. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sign out. I am gonna try to sign in with Nathan, and let's see if it lets me log in. And remember, I basically expired his account. The user account has expired. Like, what the heck does that mean? So basically, Nathan's account was expired. So basically, if you go here, right, you put you change it to whatever sometimes you'll get a call where there's a consultant in the company, right? And they're only good for 30 days. So you have to go in here and only give them 30 days of work, that their account expires only for 30 days. Like after 30 days, you can't log in anymore. So sometimes you have to get HR approval and you have to extend their account. So that's the reason why I recreated that problem. So that's that issue, right? I just changed it back to never. Let's see if Nathan's able to log in again. You should let him in. I'm gonna delete Mahan, this is an account that I was working on in Australia like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And then Nathan is my help desk guy. So now I'm going to create another scenario, right? Nathan is my help desk guy, and he already has RSAT tools on this computer. So if you go into Windows Administration Tools, you click on Active Directory Users and Computers, and you click on it, right? It's there. He's there. Nathan is there, right? And I could actually open up Active Directory in here, right? And I'm gonna go in Properties, and it doesn't let me do anything. Look, it's grayed out. Let me do anything. So I'm gonna go here, and I am going to go into Nathan, right? Because I'm logged in as Nathan right now. So if you go into Nathan right here, right? Right now I'm logged into Nathan. Right? I'm gonna add myself to the admin group, right? So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do add, and I'm gonna do enterprise admin, right? It shouldn't work. It should give me an error message because he doesn't have access to Active Directory. Like he could open Active Directory like we're doing right now, but he can't do anything right now. So Nathan is my, I'm the sysadmin, right? And Nathan is not a user anymore. Now Nathan is something else. Nathan is my help desk guy. So I'm going to go into organization. I'm going to call him IT help desk, right? I'm going to do IT. We're going to call it Kevtech, right? And he's going to report to Kevin. He's going to report to me, right? And I'm going to do apply. And I'm going to go in here, right? I'm going to go in here, and I want Nathan to have a path directory. So I'm going to go into the local C drive, right? Go to this PC, local disk. I'm going to go into shares. I'm going to right click on shares, and I'm going to hit here, and I'm going to put new folder. And I'm going to call this folder Nathan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to do sharing, and I'm going to do share. And I'm going to throw Nathan in there. And I'm going to give him read and write access. I'm going to hit share, right? I'm going to hit done. I'm going to go into here and just check that this is all set up correctly. I'm going to leave the administrators in there, right? And everyone in there, right? I'm going to go into security. And I see that Nathan's part of it already, so we're good. And I see the admin's part of it already. That's good. I don't want anyone that's a user to be part of it. I just want Nathan to be part of it. So I'm gonna go back into sharing. I'm gonna copy this, right? And I want it to map automatically when Nathan logs in for the first time. So I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna do connect, and I'm gonna right click, paste, apply. Hit OK. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna close out of that, and I'm gonna restart the machine. And when he logs in, it should map that path directory called Nathan. So we'll see if it does that. So that's basically what I did. I gave him access to a folder, so he could log in, and he should see his folder is mapped automatically. Obviously, that doesn't work. I may have to make some other changes, but it should map directly. And the reason why I did that is because in some job environments, right? You could do some job environments, it's done that way. Some job environments, it's not done that way. It depends where you work, right? Yes, it could have been done in group policy. There's several ways to do it, Nick. Several ways to do it. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm doing it through Active Directory. You could do it several other ways. I'm not going to go over that today. But basically, yeah, there's several ways to do it. So if I go here, it should pop automatically. It's right there. Look, it's there. See how easy that was? The reason why I go over share drives is because you may have to know that in a job interview. So you don't really touch group policy and help desk or IT support, not as much. You should understand how it works, but you don't really, we don't really work with group policy as much if you're doing help desk or IT support. You should at least understand how it works, a little bit at least, if that makes sense. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here, I'm going to open up Server Manager, right? I'm going to sign him out. And since I have you here, Nick, I'm going to right click here and I'm going to go into user and I'm going to create another account called Nick since I have you in chat today. So we're going to create another account, right? It's almost the same password and next, right? And I'm gonna put you in the same job category as Helpdesk. And I'm gonna put you in IT. I'm gonna put you in Kevtech, and I'm gonna put you in here. I'm gonna put your manager as me, Kevin, right? I'm gonna hit apply. And I am going to put you as remote employee as your information, and remote employee New York, because I'm from New York. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna grab this information and copy it, put it over here. I'm gonna hit apply. I'm gonna hit OK. Right? If you guys are following me, right? You guys are following me along. All right. So there's a remote employee, Nick. He is a consultant. So we're gonna put him as a consultant, right? And Nick is a consultant, but I only want Nick to do password reset. That's all I want him to have access to. That's all I want him to do is just do password reset. I don't want him to have access to adding someone to security groups. I don't want him to have access to certain things. I only want him to have access to do password reset on Active Directory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here because I'm the sysadmin, right? I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to hit dedicate control. And then when you do delegate control, it gives you permissions to certain things you give access to Active Directory. So I'm going to hit next. I'm going to hit add. And I'm going to look for Nick. And I'm going to hit next, right? And then I only want him access to reset user's password, force password change on next login. That's all I'm going to give him access to. You see all these other things? I'm only going to give him access to that. So I'm going to hit next. I'm going to hit finish. And now Nick should only have access to password reset. So how do I confirm that? I'm going to log in as Nick. So let's go here. Let's go here. And let's log in as Nick. Because in some companies, if you do Helpdesk, you only have access to password reset. That's like literally the only thing you have access to. I have a few employees that I know or a few coworkers that I know that all they have access to is password reset. That's literally all they have access to. You can't add anyone to security groups. They could only reset passwords. That's literally what they have access to. They don't have access to anything else. So I'm logging in as Nick right now. And let's see if that actually works. Give that a second. Give that 2 seconds. All right. We're logged in as Nick. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to open up Active Directory. Open up Active Directory and we should be good. So sometimes I get asked like, Kevin, is there another way to open up the Active Directory? There is actually. So if you go into CMD and if you type dsa.msc and press enter, Active Directory should open. So there's a few ways to do it. That's the other way of doing it. So if you ever want to open up Active Directory with CMD, you can. That's entirely up to you. So we're going to go into users, right? And let's see, Nathan, right? Nathan, because I had Nathan earlier in chat. Nathan wants his password reset. Can we reset Nathan's password? Right. Let's find out, right? Let's find out, shall we? So the reset password. All And we're gonna change it to password 123. Password 123. All right. And the password was changed. It lets you change the password. So if you're logged in as Nick, you should only have access to reset passwords. Everything else should be grayed out. So if I go here and I go into account, everything else will you could just change the next login. Everything else, will not be allowed to. You can't do anything else. Pretty much is grayed out if you notice. Look, see? Only thing Nick has access to is resetting passwords. So that's how you give a helpdesk access to only resetting passwords. You go in here, you do delegate control, and you give them limited access. Obviously, I could go back here, right? And I could go to Nick again and hit next. And I could modify this and give him access to this one, give him access to this one. Give him read all access only to just read the information in Active Directory. Give him access to certain things here. See, and if not, you could customize this. If you go here, you could customize your Active Directory services right here, and give them access to only certain things that you want them to have access to. So, pretty cool, right, guys? Hopefully that's useful for you guys. I'm not sure if you guys I think I gone over this before a while ago, but pretty cool, right? Like, it's pretty cool how you could create certain permissions for certain people. So that's what it is. The last thing, let me just sign out real quick. The last thing I want to do is, because I don't want to make this too long, is the copy command. Or actually, before I even go over copy command, let me go over this real quick. Before I go over anything else, let me go over this real quick. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go here. We're gonna close out, and then go into CMD. I'm gonna do GP update. GP update / help. Should give me all the permissions. That's GP update. So GP update force is one of them that you need to know if you're doing group policy, right? Obviously, there is GP result. So this is policy has been updated successfully, right? And then you do GP results. And if you go here, do space, you do H, do GP report.html. It's going to create a report for you. And you're like, okay, where's that report located at? So if you go in here, so sometimes the report is typically added in here somewhere in system 32. So if you go into the system, usually the report is somewhere in here. You have your program files. You have all the other stuff. I'm going to do view. I'm going to do view. I'm going to do show hidden files. And you have your windows. You have your registry information right over here. You have your system 32 right over here. And I am going to check here. And it's supposed to be on the local C drive. And for some reason, it's not showing up. Usually it shows up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do CD desktop GP results H. Oh, I think I know where it is. It's under administrator. Okay, that's fine. GP report HTML. And go here. And it's not showing up for some reason. Oh, there we go. There's the report. I'm like, where the heck's the report at? There we go. All right, that makes more sense. Good. So we're going to go in here. I'm just looking at the reports. So if you go into reports, it tells you more information about group policy. It tells you the domain controller, the computer name. It gives you group policy infrastructure. It tells you the enforced password history, 24 password remember. Password age is 42 days. Minimum password age is 1 day. Minimum password length is 7 characters. So it has to be 7 characters or more. Account gets locked out for 30 minutes. Account gets locked out after 5 invalid attempts. Reset account lockout counter after 30 minutes. It gives you a bunch of other stuff here as well. It's very interesting. It's some interesting information. So I ran the command again, and this time it actually worked. It actually pulled the information up. I had to run GP result, change it to CD because CD is change directory. You change it to something else, change it to desktop. And then I ran GP result space H space / GP report .html space / F. And that's the command that got me to actually put out the report. I'm going to go here. I'm just checking. So yeah, so the report is actually right here. So this is where it originally imported it. The first command that I ran was this one. And it's pretty much the same thing. The other one was I changed the path directory. So it's okay. It's all good. So the last thing I want to go over is go to server manager. We're going to go to Active Directory, users and computers. And we're going to go here. And I want to create another account. And for the sake of today, see who we have here in chat. Was it Sam? Okay, we'll go with Sam then. We'll go with Sam. All right, so I'm gonna type Sam in here. And I'm gonna do welcome one. And I'm gonna go here, create Sam. And I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna delete the computer, and I'm going to restart for a second. Just give me a second. And then now Sam is trying to log in for the first time, right? Sam is like, oh, I'm gonna log in real quick. And now it says the security database on the server does not have a computer account for this workstation or trust relationship. So that means there is no computer associated. So this computer is desktop 1, right? Go here, it's called desktop 1. And for some reason, Sam can't log in. So in some scenarios, you may be able to go here and you'll be able to right click here. And you may be able to call it desktop 1 and then hit OK. And then Sam may be able to log in because I've seen it in some job environments. You should be able to log in, but it doesn't work for Sam for some reason. So this is where it gets a little complicated because this is where basically you try to reset it. He tries to log in again, it doesn't work. You could probably log in with another account, which is fine. So this is where it gets a little tricky where you have to log in with the administrator account. So you have your local account, Mine is administrator. You saw how I type administrator. It changes to desktop 1. And I'm going to try to log in with my local account. Let's see if it lets me log in. It should let me log in. So I'm trying to log in with my local account. So this is my local account. This is not my my domain controller account. It's a different account. So I'm logged in right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this PC. I'm going to right click on this PC. I'm going to hit properties, right? And I'm going to go all the way down here. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to hit change. And I'm going to put it back on workgroup because it looks like it fell off the domain. So I'm going to do here. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to go to my domain controller. I'm going to delete this because it seems like it's not working for some reason. So now what I'm going to do is it actually let me get out of it. I'm going to restart now. Yeah, it looks like the computer fell off the domain. So sometimes you have issues with that where the computer doesn't see Kevtech.com or it doesn't see the domain controller. So then you're stuck in a scenario where you have to re-add it to the domain controller in order to fix that problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in again. And I'm going to log in real quick. And then I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna type PowerShell. I'm gonna do run as administrator. And I'm gonna do add computer domain. I made a video on this, guys. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, I made a YouTube video on this. Kevtech.com -restart. And it's gonna ask me for my credentials. And I'm going to do Kevin.io admin. And basically, I'm trying to rejoin it to the domain. And I did. So I ran PowerShell commands and I rejoined it to the domain. So basically, I re-added this computer to Kevtech.com using PowerShell. But I did it extremely fast, if you notice. So did it pretty fast. So let's give that a second. Now, if it's added to the domain controller, you should see that other user, and it should say Kevtech right here. You do /, it says desktop01. It's signed into Kevtech again. You go to the right-hand side, go to computers, you refresh it, it's there now. So now you go ahead and you go and try to log in with Sam again, and it should work now. I wouldn't see why it wouldn't work. It should let Sam in because we just fixed that trust issue relationship with domain controllers. So sometimes you have issues like that where you have to rejoin the computer, remove it from Active Directory, then you rejoin it again, you log in with your local account, you remove it, you add it again, and then you're good to go after that. So that is like the last thing I wanted to show you guys. So you saw it went over today. We just like a brief, I guess, brief topics or brief agenda of all the stuff we went over today. We went over how to install Server 2016, how to install Active Directory with PowerShell, how to create an Active Directory account, how to create a map folder drive for someone, password being locked out, account getting locked out, password expiring, someone's computer fell off the domain, logging in as another user who has access to Active Directory and only doing password reset. So those are like the little things. And in the command line, obviously the command line, we went over IP config all, ping. You can do flush DNS, like so many commands out there. Net user, space username / domain. A bunch of different commands you can run, and the PowerShell as well. In today's session, if you guys enjoy this type of information, please let me know, and we'll do more and we'll do more stuff like that. So what I did, we did it manually, Sam. So Sam, I did it manually. So the manual way of doing it is if you go into here, you go into this PC, you right click on this PC, you go to properties, right? That's the manual way. I only did it. I only done it two ways. So I done it with PowerShell, which is what I went over today. But the other way of doing it is actually going into change, and then you add the domain right here, right? Right, Sam? You hit OK, and you put your admin credentials for your domain controller, and you hit OK. It prompts you to restart your computer, and then you're good to go after that. Those are the two ways of doing it. So hopefully I answer your question. So if you guys found this useful, please let me know. I will definitely probably make another like free training or free course or free class on Office 365 in the next couple of weeks. So please let me know if you're interested in that.